the lights dim, the crowd roars, and in that split second before everything explodes, you can feel it in the air, something violent is about to happen. Darby Allin stands in the ring, face paint smeared with the evidence of war, and his eyes locked on one target, the Death Riders. What happens next isn't just wrestling, it's absolute bedlam. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell for more amazing highlights that'll leave you speechless. Wednesday night on Dynamite wasn't just another episode, it was a statement, a declaration, a moment that reminds every single person watching why they fell in love with professional wrestling in the first place. Because when Darby Allin snaps, when that switch flips inside his mind, there's no containing the chaos that follows. The Death Riders learned that lesson the hard way, and the entire arena witnessed something they'll be talking about for years to come. Let's rewind for just a moment. The tension between Darby Allin and the Death Riders has been building like a pressure cooker ready to explode. Week after week, the disrespect, the attacks, the psychological warfare, it all accumulated into this powder keg of rage that Darby carried with him to that ring. The Death Riders thought they had him cornered. They thought their numbers game would keep them safe. They thought wrong. The segment starts innocently enough. The Death Riders are in the ring, doing what they do best, running their mouths, asserting their dominance, making it clear that AEW belongs to them. Jon Moxley's got that look in his eyes, that dangerous glint that says he'll hurt anyone who steps up. Claudio Castagnoli stands like a mountain of muscle and malice. Wheeler Yuta's there, playing his role in this brotherhood of brutality. And they're all laughing, mocking, taunting. They think they're untouchable. Then the music hits. That haunting, ominous theme that sends chills down your spine because you know what's coming. Darby Allin doesn't walk to the ring, he charges. He doesn't pose, he attacks. There's no theatrics here, no playing to the crowd. This is pure, unfiltered aggression from a man who's been pushed too far, disrespected too many times, and now he's here to collect every ounce of revenge that's owed to him. The first strike lands before the Death Riders even realize what's happening. Darby's moving like a man possessed, like every fiber of his being is dedicated to inflicting maximum damage in minimum time. He's not here for a wrestling match. He's here for a fight. A real fight. The kind where rules don't matter, where survival instincts kick in, where it's about who wants it more. Darby catches Wheeler Yuta first with a shotgun dropkick that sends him flying into the corner. The impact is so violent you can hear it echo through the arena. But Darby doesn't stop. He can't stop. The rage that's been building inside him for weeks, maybe months, is pouring out in an unstoppable torrent of offense. He's throwing himself at these men with reckless abandon, with the kind of fearlessness that defines his entire career. Claudio tries to grab him, those massive arms reaching out to end this rebellion before it really begins. But Darby's too quick, too motivated, too angry to be caught. He slips away, grabs a chair from ringside because of course he does, and the real chaos begins. The sound of steel meeting flesh is sickening. It's the kind of sound that makes you wince, that makes you realize this isn't scripted entertainment anymore. This is personal. The Death Riders are scrambling now. These men who've dominated everyone they've faced, who've run roughshod over the entire roster, are suddenly on their heels. Darby's swinging the chair like it's an extension of his own fury, like every impact is a message being delivered in the most brutal language possible. Jon Moxley's trying to organize a counterattack, shouting orders, but there's no stopping this freight train of violence that Darby has become. What happens next is the moment that defines the entire segment. Darby climbs to the top rope, the chair still in hand, and the entire arena holds its breath. Everyone knows what's about to happen. Everyone knows Darby's going to do something insane, something that'll make you question whether he values his own body at all. And then he leaps. Time seems to slow down as he crashes down onto all three Death Riders with that chair, sacrificing his own body to ensure maximum damage to his enemies. The impact is catastrophic. Bodies are strewn across the ring. The chair is bent and twisted. And for a moment, just a brief moment, there's this eerie silence as everyone processes what they just witnessed. Then the crowd explodes. The roar is deafening. Because this is what they came to see. This is the violence, the passion, the sheer insanity that makes professional wrestling the most captivating form of entertainment on the planet. But Darby's not done. Even as he's pulling himself up, even as his body is screaming at him to stop, he's looking for more. He's grabbing another weapon. He's stalking the Death Riders like a predator that's tasted blood and wants more. The arena is electric with energy, feeding off Darby's intensity, living vicariously through his rampage. The Death Riders, these supposedly unstoppable forces of destruction, make a decision. They retreat. Not strategically, not tactically, they run. Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, all backing away from one man. 170-pound daredevil who refuses to be intimidated, refuses to be broken, refuses to accept defeat. And they don't just leave through the normal route. They escape through the crowd. Think about that for a second. The Death Riders, running through the crowd to get away from Darby Allin. Fans are reaching out, trying to touch them, some cheering, some jeering, but all of them understanding they're witnessing something special. The symbolism is perfect. The men who've terrorized AEW are now the ones fleeing, pushing through a sea of humanity just to put distance between themselves and Darby's wrath. Darby doesn't let them go easy. He's chasing them through the crowd, leaping over barriers, sliding across floors, doing whatever it takes to keep the pressure on. Security's trying to intervene, but they might as well be trying to stop a hurricane with their bare hands. This is Darby Allin unleashed, and nothing short of a complete physical breakdown is going to stop him. The cameras are struggling to keep up. You can see the operators scrambling, trying to capture every moment of this chaos. The commentary team is losing their minds, voices cracking with excitement and disbelief. Because this isn't what they scripted. This isn't what they expected. This is raw, genuine emotion translated into physical action, and it's absolutely magnetic to watch. As the Death Riders finally manage to escape through an exit, disappearing into the backstage area with Darby still in pursuit, the arena is left in a state of shock. Fans are on their feet, chanting Darby's name. The ring is destroyed. Weapons are scattered everywhere. And everyone watching knows they just witnessed something that'll be replayed in highlight reels for years to come. But what does this mean going forward? That's the question burning in everyone's mind. Darby Allin just declared war in the most emphatic way possible. He didn't just attack the Death Riders, he humiliated them. He made them run. He exposed a vulnerability that many thought didn't exist. The landscape of AEW just shifted dramatically in the span of 10 minutes. The Death Riders won't forget this. Men like Jon Moxley don't forgive and forget. They don't let disrespect slide. They certainly don't let anyone make them look weak without consequences. The retaliation is coming, and it's going to be brutal. But here's the thing, Darby doesn't care. He never has. That's what makes him special. That's what makes him one of the most compelling figures in professional wrestling. Darby Allin built his entire career on being the underdog who refuses to die. He's the guy who takes punishment that would end other men's careers and comes back for more. He's the skateboarder from Seattle who painted his face and decided he was going to be somebody, no matter how many times he had to put his body on the line. And Wednesday night on Dynamite, he proved once again why he's one of the most valuable assets AEW has. Think about the psychology of what just happened. The Death Riders represent established power, collective strength, the idea that numbers always win. Darby represents individual rebellion, the refusal to bow down, the belief that heart and determination can overcome any odds. When those two forces collide, you get moments like this. You get chaos. You get compelling television. You get the kind of segment that makes casual viewers into hardcore fans. The social media reaction was instant and overwhelming. Twitter exploded with clips, reactions, and debates. Wrestling fans from every corner of the globe were talking about what Darby did. Some called it reckless. Some called it brilliant. Everyone called it must-see television. Because at the end of the day, that's what matters. In an era where attention spans are measured in seconds and content is infinite, Darby Allin created something that demanded attention, that couldn't be ignored, that will be remembered. This is also a masterclass in storytelling without words. Darby didn't need a 20-minute promo to explain his motivations. He didn't need an elaborate video package to set the scene. His actions told the entire story. The intensity in his eyes, the violence of his attacks, the relentlessness of his pursuit, it all communicated exactly what needed to be said. This is a man on a mission, and nothing will stand in his way. For newer fans, this segment also serves as the perfect introduction to who Darby Allin is. If you've never seen him before, if you don't know his history, watching him single-handedly chase off three of AEW's most dangerous men tells you everything you need to know. He's fearless, creative, intense, and absolutely captivating to watch. He's the kind of performer that transcends wrestling fandom and appeals to anyone who appreciates pure, unbridled passion. The technical execution was also flawless. In segments like this, there's always a risk of things looking choreographed or fake. But every move Darby made looked desperate and real. Every impact had weight. Every moment felt dangerous. That's the mark of elite performers who understand not just the mechanics of wrestling, but the emotion and psychology that makes it resonate. Looking ahead, this sets up so many possibilities. Does Darby continue this one-man war? Do others join him in standing up to the Death Riders? Does this escalate into something even bigger at an upcoming pay-per-view? The beauty is that AEW has created a situation where any direction makes sense, where fans are genuinely invested in what happens next. Wednesday night on Dynamite, Darby Allin didn't just attack the Death Riders. He created a moment. He delivered the kind of segment that reminds us why we love professional wrestling. Because when it's done right, when the performers are fully committed, when the story is compelling and the action is intense, there's nothing else like it in entertainment. The Death Riders escaped through that crowd, but they can't escape the reality of what happened. Darby Allin proved he's not afraid. He proved he won't back down. He proved that sometimes, one determined individual can shake the foundations of an entire empire. And that's a message that resonates far beyond wrestling. This is what hardcore highlights are all about. The moments that make you jump out of your seat, that make you immediately want to watch again, that you can't wait to share with other fans. Darby Allin vs. the Death Riders on Dynamite delivered all of that and more. Total chaos? Absolutely. Unforgettable? Without question.